Hey guys, Sleepy here, and welcome to a brand new episode of my weekly gaming playlist series. We've made it to Friday, so we're going to do a little overview and share and talk about the games I played this week, give you guys my thoughts. Of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts as well, so if you played any of the games shared today, let me know what you thought of them. I also appreciate hearing about the games you guys are playing, because that gives me ideas of new games that I might want to play and experience. And if you guys have recommendations on games you think I might enjoy, please keep those coming. You guys have suggested some really good games over the last several years of me doing this series. I've started this series back in 2019, and I've got actually a pretty decent sized list of games to eventually play. And I do appreciate all your suggestions, so please keep those coming. Now, I've got two games to share with you guys this week, and I've been playing both of them on my Xbox Series X. First one I've been playing for the last 2 weeks, and the other one I've been playing for a little bit over a week now. The first one here is for the original Xbox, but what I love is it's backwards compatible on Xbox One or Series consoles, and I highly recommend playing it on those because you get a boost to performance and graphics that you don't get on the original Xbox, and that is Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. Really love this game. This is the final game in the series. Now, I loved and played all 5 of them that are in the series. I started with Star Wars Dark Forces on the PC. Remember, my buddy had that back in the 90s as a kid and let me try it out and absolutely loved it because it was basically like Doom but Storm Troopers, and it's basically like Doom but with Star Wars, and I absolutely loved that game. And then they came out with Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, the sequel, and that was awesome. And then they released an expansion pack for that one called Mysteries of the Sith. Really love that. And then they came out with Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, which I absolutely love that game as well. And then they finally came out with the 5th one, Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. Now, they were planning a Jedi Knight 3, a sequel to this one. Unfortunately, it did get scrapped. So that was kind of sad. Maybe someday in the future they'll revive it, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. But I highly recommend playing through this series. It's really awesome. Now, in the first 4 games, you play as Kyle Katarn. However, in this one, you actually play as one of his students. So I know a lot of people kind of got upset when this first released. People were upset they didn't get to play as Kyle Katarn. You played as a new character called Jaden, which is a character that you get to actually create yourself. You don't get to name him or anything, but you can choose whether it be male or female, and if you want to be one of the different races, you could be human, but there's a few other Star Wars races that are out there that you can choose from. Not huge customization, but at least gives you a little bit of an option. So let me read you guys from the back. Forge your weapon and follow the path of the Jedi. Jedi Knight Jedi Academy is the latest installment of the highly acclaimed Jedi Knight series. Take on the role of a new student eager to learn the ways of the Force from Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. Interact with famous Star Wars characters in many Star Wars locations as you face the ultimate choice. Fight for good and freedom on the light side or follow the path of power and evil to the dark side. Customize your character by defining both look and gender before entering the academy to learn the powers and dangers of the Force. Construct your own lightsaber from handle to blade as you progress. Discover the power of wielding 2 lightsabers or the ultimate dual-bladed lightsaber made famous by Darth Maul. New vehicles, weapons, power, force powers, and Star Wars locations. Unique level selection system allows you to choose your own missions and adventures. And then there was also 6 different multiplayer modes. So let's check out some Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. Hey guys, today we're checking out a classic Star Wars game for the original Xbox called Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. Now, I first played this game back in the day on the PC and absolutely loved it. And then when I found out that they were making a console port of it for the original Xbox, I bought it, loved it, played it on the original Xbox, but I never ever beat it. And then what was really cool is I found out that it became backwards compatible on Xbox One and Series X. So I'm playing it here on my Series X, and you get a wonderful boost to performance, absolutely quick loading times. Visuals just look wonderful. This has all the classic Star Wars music that you love. Here's a little preview of the game. You guys can check it out. So I just wanted to guys give a little preview of that. Very awesome game. There is multiplayer, which may still be active with servers for the Series X. I don't know. I never played the multiplayer back in the day. I'm just playing this for the story. And I want to show you guys, there is it's not super deep, but there is a little bit of customization here. You can play different races, a couple different ones. So you have a few, not a lot. And you can change heads a little bit and change torso. So there's some customization, not a ton, but it lets you do what that. And you can also adjust what lightsaber looks like and its color from the different color palettes. So, you know, very limited customization, but it's pretty cool that you can at least create your own, because you play as a character called Jaden. And the basic story is, this takes place after the end of Return of the Jedi, after the Battle of Endor. Luke Skywalker is working on rebuilding the Jedi Order, and so you're a Jedi apprentice who's coming to the new Jedi Academy on Yavin 4 to train to become a Jedi, and that's where the story takes place. So we'll load it up here. I love that you can save it anytime you want to, and after you do the initial tutorial, which teaches you how to play the game, you can then start playing the actual game where you can get to choose missions you want to go on, and it takes place all over the galaxy. And I'm currently on Tatooine doing a mission, and so we'll load it up here. And what's cool is you can choose your loadout before you go into the world. So you can choose different weapons you want, what explosive weapon you want to use, as well as using your lightsaber. Now what's cool is this game has first person and third person perspective. When you have your guns, it is first person, but when you pull out your lightsaber, you control in third person, which is really cool. And the game just looks absolutely beautiful on an Xbox One or Series X. Look at how much upgrade, 4K upgrade to this old original Xbox game. That's what I really love about the backwards compatibility with my Series X, is how wonderful these old games look, because it did not look this good on the original Xbox. Even with my component cables, you know, it didn't look this beautiful. So they definitely did a great job with upgrading these for backwards compatibility. So I really love it, and I just love these old Star Wars games. I mean, we just don't get Star Wars games, modern ones, that play like these old ones from the early 2000s. There's just something really special about these games, and I absolutely love this game, but I never beat it. Not on the PC or the original Xbox. So I wanted to finally come through, play the game, and beat it again, because it's been so long since I've played it. There's a huge variety of enemies to fight. We're currently fighting Tusken Raiders. And so my mission objective is I gotta locate the missing Sandcrawler, I gotta eliminate Tusken Raiders, and I gotta retrieve this droid from the Sandcrawler, because there's a new Sith force that's out there. Now this keeps track of you talking about your weapons, so you can learn different things about them, which I like. So there's all kinds of stuff. Your different force powers that you have available to you, like I'm working on getting my healing up, there's jumping, you can make yourself have super speed, you can push objects away, you can pull objects closer, you're able to throw your lightsaber, you're able to block with it, different attacks, you can sense stuff with the force, you can find hidden clues, you might find a hidden switch that you use, really cool stuff. And now what's also neat too is you start out neutral, so you can do stuff for the light side, or you can go down the dark path, and that'll affect your ending and how the characters interact with you, which I think is really cool. I love when the games give you a choice. So let's see if we can find stuff. There we go, use the Jedi Sense power and see if I can force sense anything. Looks like the C-3PO. That's pretty cool. There are things for you to find in the world, like ammo and health and stuff, because your weapons do use ammo. So let's pull out our old trusty pistol here, and we'll go show you guys some combat. We're going to fight some of the Tusken Raiders that are in this building here. Controls really well. There is still some slowdown that you'll notice, that I noticed while playing with the frame rate dropping, and that's unfortunately just how the game was originally programmed. But the game does play a lot better on the Series X than it did on the original Xbox. Load times are way quicker. Sometimes the AI can be stupid too, though, how they just charge at you. I've had a few times in this level where the Tusken Raiders just stayed standing still and I just blasted them to death. See how they just stand still sometimes? Ah, it's funny. Let's try some lightsaber combat. You guys can see that too. And you do gain new abilities as you play through the story, which is pretty sweet. And your lightsaber is super strong as well. I love that too, that you can choose whatever lightsaber color you want to use. I really love red, even though I'm not a... when I play these games, I usually don't play evil. But unfortunately, it won't let you use red, but I'd always have like the color red for lightsabers. Hot mother bastard. Ooh, we found a secret area. Forgot about that. I forgot there are secrets to discover. There is a strategy guide for this, which I do own. Unfortunately, it's put away, so I can't use it. Look, it's another blown-up C-3PO. That's cool. Fucking bitch. God, he's beating me with a rifle. Let's try to use some force power so you can push him down. You can also, with one of the evil powers for the Sith, is you can get force lightning. You can also pick up enemies later on, and you can throw, like you might have saw in that clip, where you can throw them off buildings and stuff. So there's just all kinds of cool powers for you to get. And as you play through the game, you actually start leveling up and start getting stronger with the force and stronger with your abilities. Like when I first started the game, you'll notice your jumping is really shitty, but once you start getting to actual missions, you're able to jump a lot higher. And you can improve that with force abilities. Also got a bolt caster too, like Chewbacca used, which is pretty sweet. This thing's really powerful. And if you go for headshots, they'll die a lot quicker. You can take them out in one shot. There are other weapons you can unlock as well for your blasters and stuff, sniper rifles, all kinds of stuff that you get later on in later missions as the game gets more difficult. There's also vehicles to ride. You guys saw that. You can ride a Tauntaun, which is cool. There's also speeder bikes. And I can't remember if there were any other vehicles in the game, but it's pretty cool that there is vehicle combat as well. You can also crouch down as well by holding the right stick. And I love that the game defaults to inverted controls, because I've always played these games inverted. It's just how I've always played them. And that's how a lot of these games were back in the day, were inverted. So I love when games have that option in there. So just wanted to give you guys a little preview of Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. It's an awesome game in this series, wonderful game that I highly recommend you play on the original Xbox if you have one. But if you have an Xbox One or a Series console, play it on these consoles, because you get the boost to performance, you get much better graphics, and it's just overall a very wonderful Star Wars experience that I think you guys will enjoy. Hope you guys enjoyed that look at Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy. I had a lot of fun with it. I actually beat it this week. It was really awesome. I went through and beat all the missions. You don't have to. There's a selection of like 6 missions every time, and you only have to do 5 of the 6 to progress to the story. But I like to do all of them, so I went through all of them, because you can also level up your character more with that. And you can choose whether you want to have light side powers or have dark side powers. And then there is a choice that you can make towards the end of the game if you want to become good or go evil. It's up to you. I chose the light side ending for this playthrough, and I had a lot of fun with it. This has some of the best lightsaber combat you're going to find in any Star Wars games. I love the combat they had in these Jedi Knight games. they were just absolute peak when it comes to lightsaber combat and stuff. The games today don't hold a candle to the Jedi combat that you had in these old games. These people knew what the hell they were doing when it came to Star Wars games and lightsaber battles. So highly recommend you guys play this series. Now this was remastered. You can get a physical copy of it on PS4. I believe there's a digital version on the Xbox series, and there obviously is a digital version on PC, but you can get a really cheap copy here of Xbox, pop it into your Series X, and play it on there with upgraded graphics and performance, and it's just a fantastic experience. Highly recommend this Star Wars games, guys. You definitely got to check it out. And the other game is one that I just picked up last Friday. Super excited. This has definitely been on my want list for a while, and that was Robocop Rogue City Unfinished Business. Now, this is the sequel to that wonderful Robocop Rogue City that came out in 2023. This is the expansion pack to it. Now, the great thing is this is only $30 for an expansion pack, and it's a 8 to 12 hour experience, just depending on how thorough you play the game, whether you do all the story missions and side missions too, or just the story. If you take your time to explore, I'm taking my time. I'm about 4 hours in, and I'm only on mission 3 of the 11 total there are. Really cool stuff. Plays just the same as the original Robocop Rogue City. Really awesome. Now, there were some bugs and issues when this game first launched back in July 17th. The physical version didn't come out until August 1st, but they have released a patch since then. There's still some issues people are encountering, and so Teon is working on patching this game. They did that with Rogue City. They kept supporting it, which is awesome, and I hope that we'll get another game in the Robocop Rogue City series in the future, because this game is awesome. Love it just as much as the first one. So I'll read you guys from the back. An army of mercenaries, only one cop can stop them. Fight crime to the top of OCP's tower. You can also play as Alex Murphy, Ed 209, and more. So you also get to play as other characters besides just Robocop. There is a mission where you get to go back as a memory where you get to play as Alex Murphy, so before he became Robocop, which is cool. I do know you get to play as Ed 209, and it says there's others, so it'd be interesting to see what other characters you might get to play as in this. And I really love the story. It definitely gives me vibes of Judge Dredd. There's a lot of people say that because you go through this big giant Omni Tower, and it really reminds me of that big living tower that Judge Dredd went through in that 2014 Judge Dredd movie. So let's check out Robocop Rogue City Unfinished Business. Alright guys, we're checking out Robocop Rogue City Unfinished Business. This is the brand new expansion that was just released this year. I played the original Robocop Rogue City back in 2023. Absolutely loved it, beat it, got all the different endings, had a blast with that game. And when I heard that they were releasing additional content for the game, I knew I wanted to add it to my collection. Now, this just came out on July 17th digitally, but I wanted to get a physical copy, and the physical copies were delayed until August 1st. So I just picked up my copy the other day from GameStop. Really happy to have it in my collection. I'm already absolutely loving this game. So if you guys like the original Robocop Rogue City, I highly recommend getting the Unfinished Business because it's only $30 for an expansion. Has the same intro screen, music, and everything. There is a pre-order bonus DLC you can get that's just cosmetics for Robocop and different gun skins that you can get for $4 if you didn't pre-order it digitally. So really cool. So let's get started here. The game is broke up into different chapters, so just like the original Robocop Rogue City, you know, you're playing through a story, which in this one is about going to the OCP's Omni Tower that was taken over by mercenaries. So let's check it out here. I'll load an older save. It does create checkpoints, and I'll load up the very beginning of the story for the game here. That's the giant Omni Tower that we have to go to and fight the various mercenaries that have taken over the tower.
All squads, code red. Robocop is here. Backup is needed in the main lobby.
Dear residents, an unauthorized individual has been detected. Please return to your units. Any person staying outside the unit after 15 seconds will be killed.
Surrender, or there will be trouble.
You're going down!
Trouble, then.
So just like the original Rogue City, you know, you can use his vision mode to highlight where enemies are and look for various objects you can destroy that you can use to your advantage, like explosions. You know, you can do ricochet stuff. And you start off with his powerful Auto 9 weapon, which you do have to pair up with your reload. You do have a health bar, so that was something that they fixed when they first had launched the original Robocop Rogue City and were showing gameplay. Robocop was pretty much invincible, and people felt that that would hinder the experience and make you feel too much of like you're an invulnerable machine. So they tweaked it and made it so you actually take damage, so you have to find remote charges to heal yourself, which I think definitely made the game a lot better. You can also take the enemy's weapons and use them against them, just like you did in the first game. And you can just hold only 2 weapons at a time. And definitely recommend going for headshots because you'll take enemies down a lot quicker that way. And then as you play through the game, it will also start giving you hints and stuff of how to play the game. What's also I really like too about this game is that Robocop is actually able to scan the environment with his vision mode, and you can use that to solve crimes. It's also how you solve puzzles, because there are puzzles in the game when you play that you have to solve. And have all that great iconic music that was in the first game is brought back in this one. So I'm going to show you guys the menu system. So you have the map, which you can check out to see where things are. You have your different objectives. There's a main objective, but they also have side objectives, just like the original one. And then all the ones you completed will be down there. You can also upgrade your Auto 9 with different little chips that you find, because there are hidden OCP containers spread out throughout the different levels, and if you find them, you unlock new chips. You can also combine chips and stuff, and you can use them to augment Robocop's powers here. So you can make things stronger. You want to try to avoid the red ones because those add penalties to you. So if you can find one that don't do that, like with this chip here as an example, it activates that but without activating the red penalty that's next to it. And so you're just looking for ones you have that perfectly fit the different options you have. So there you guys got that all set up. There's also skills for you to unlock, just like in the original Robocop Rogue City. So you can make him stronger with better combat, you can make his armor stronger, have him more health. Your engineering is up, and that has different abilities, dashing. You have focus, so that's when you use his vision mode, the scanning with the vision mode. And then you also have his deduction, which is solving crimes and stuff. So you can get all this stuff maxed out as you play through the game. And then the archives just keep track of different things you've unlocked will be here, so the tutorials and stuff, as well as notes that you might find out that are hidden throughout the map, because there's a lot of hidden stuff in the game as well, just like you did with the original one. You can also run with the left stick pushing it in, but it's not as fast because he's a giant machine. And then here's your little health items. And then your health is down there in the bar, and you have to use these recharges to heal, you can only hold 4 at a time. And then it has, just like the original one, you have the breaching, where you can breach in and it'll slow down time and it gives you a chance to kill the enemies. Sometimes you have to do this to save hostages, and if you're not fast enough, they can get killed. I love that when the guys go flying. And this game is a lot more difficult than the first game. This expansion really ramps up the difficulty, especially as you play through the game, because they keep throwing increasingly more difficult enemies at you. And a lot of these are soldiers. They're not just random gangbangers like in the original game. So they are packed to deliver a punch to you, so you have to be careful. So now they introduced a new enemy here, the shielded enemy, so you can't shoot through their shield, it's bulletproof. So you have to aim for their legs. So you gotta watch because enemies will try to flank you and try to get behind you to try to destroy you. So you have to watch out for that. You're also able to pick up items and then you can throw those items. You also have a melee weapon. You can do melee. You can punch enemies. You can grab enemies and use them as a meat shield and stuff. Just all kinds of really cool stuff about this. Another thing that's neat too is that you don't just play as Robocop, you actually get to play in some flashback missions during the story as Alex Murphy as a cop before he became Robocop, which is cool. I haven't got to that, I'm looking forward to that. You also get to play as Ed 209, and it said other characters, so it's a really awesome expansion. If you guys loved the original Robocop Rogue City, I recommend getting Robocop Rogue City Unfinished Business. It's just as amazing as the original one is. Now, There have been some bugs and issues. If you guys noticed, there was some little stuttering here and there. They have released one patch so far, but Teon said that they are working on continuing to patch the game for any bugs and issues that people have encountered. They're working on fixing it, just like they did with the original Robocop Rogue City. So don't need to worry about that. You know, they are working on getting things fixed and ironed out, but so far I've been having a lot of fun with this, and I've just played for a few hours so far. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that look at Robocop Rogue City Unfinished Business. I'm loving the game. Like I said, it's just as good as the original one. These people absolutely know how to make proper movie tie-in games. They did a fantastic job with the Terminator Resistance game, and they did a fantastic job with Robocop Rogue City. And I know I'm not the only one. I hope that they decide to make a Judge Dredd game, get the license for that. I would love to see what they could do with the Dredd series. But I highly recommend playing this sequel to the first game. It is a great expansion pack. It's more than just DLC, because usually, you know, DLC might be like a 1 or 2, 3 hour story. This is, if you take your time, you probably could get like 10 or 12 hours out of it, like I'm gonna get, and that's 100% get absolutely everything out of it. Highly recommend it. It is a fantastic game, and it's only $30. I did want to let you guys know, if you want to get a physical copy, especially for the Xbox, I recommend getting it now, sooner rather than later, because these have really small print runs. I pre-ordered my copy from GameStop, and I was the only person that pre-ordered there, and I got my copy there, and they did not get any else. They do have them still for sale online, but none of the stores that I know of have any copies, and I doubt they'll get any in. So this is going to be just like how Terminator Resistance had a really small print run. Especially with Xbox, as we're going along, you know, getting further along, you know, Microsoft wants to go to that 100% digital route, and so you're going to start seeing fewer and fewer copies released physically for the games out there, and eventually we're not going to see them at all. So if you want to get any of these newer ones coming out, you got to pre-order them, or definitely pick them up day one if you don't want to have to pay an absolute fortune to get them in the future. So just wanted to give you guys that. So a little recap, you know, we talked about Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, a wonderful Star Wars game, the final game in the Jedi Knight series, absolutely wonderful. Great story, voice acting, graphics, amazing lightsaber combat, highly recommend it. And then Robocop Rogue City Unfinished Business, a wonderful DLC expansion to that great Robocop Rogue City game that came out. It's just more of an awesome game, good story. You get to play as Robocop, Alex Murphy, Ed 209. Fantastic game. Highly recommend play both of these. Let me know your guys' thoughts. So have you guys played either of these two titles? Would love to know about the games you guys are playing. And if you guys have a recommendation, that game you think I might enjoy, let me know. I'm always looking for new games to play and experience. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. You guys have an excellent day. And Sleepy, we'll see you next time.